Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, I thought I would show you how to maximize your potential with influencers, namely being Lonzo for the demo. So, after you deliver the package to Marcus and you make some deliveries for him, you're then going to be prompted to push into the archipelago from the small island and come and meet Lonzo in his office. Here, you guys are going to discuss just basically how to expand into his territory and create an offer to him, and that will kind of start getting all the client orders in the archipelago itself. So real quick, when you go and you start a conversation with him,
Right.
he's going to go
Nice
through
to
this
meet you,
dialogue.
I guess. I'm Lonzo. Questions?
So, your first question should be, well, what is the percentage? And we're going to go over that because this is quite interesting. You ask him,
Yes, 15% for dealing on my territory. For now, at least.
so Lonzo is claiming that he will take 15% of sales in his territory. Now, I don't know if the game is trying to finesse you or if it's just wrong, but he actually takes 75%, and you're only getting 25%. I'll go into the math and prove that a little later on, but for now, you can just say sure. A lot of people bypass this and say sure and never think about it again, and if you want to play that way, that's fine. Just know that he is totally finessing you and actually taking 75% of your sales. So we'll hit sure.
I'm free. I got your bureau. Down the hall, on the left. Make yourself at ease.
And here he will tell you that you unlock a bed and there's a phone and everything. He gives you like a little shitty office in the back, and you can go there. And we'll get to this whole menu in a bit. The main thing I want to point out now, in case I reopen this menu up, is the amphetamine and the marijuana here are listed under town demand, and that's going to be important for a little later on. So we're going to say thank you. I'm going to close that out. And the next thing I'm going to say, so after we check the voicemail in the back room, we're then going to be prompted to go and meet Pedro, I believe, over here on the other part of the archipelago, or the shores, whatever you want to call it, and get a hideout. I would highly suggest you do that first, and also do any robberies that you want to stock up your hideout with supplies with the tier 3 mats. I have another video on that as well. So stock up that hideout before you come and make your first offer to Lonzo. So I'm gonna cut back to after I acquired the hideout. I stock it up from the robberies, and I will have a few things to show you. Also, I'll be coming here with amphetamine as well, not just marijuana. And real quick, if you're wondering just how I have so much starting cash, remember the game does give you, I think it's 125 or 150 when you start out in the bunker. And then any residual cash that I have is from selling the amber stones. If you're not sure, I have a video on that as well, just kind of going over how you can maximize, as much of your potential as you possibly can in the start by selling those amber stones. You can see I'm only level 2, but we got plenty of money to kind of set our lab up and our hideout and everything, so check that out if you're curious. So welcome back. I got everything all set up, and we're going to make our first offer to Lonzo. Real quick, you'll see that I have a few different packages, all in various different quantities, and that's just to go over a few interactions, just so you're aware of exactly what Lonzo does.
Need anything?
But coming back to it, so before we get into anything, obviously at the very bottom here of the meter, you'll see this is level 0. This is the reputation that you have with this current influencer. This is going to affect certain things like how often people are going to submit orders to you on this particular part of the island. It also says that there's interactions with the bandits and the locals. So you may get robbed less and pressed a lot less when you have a higher reputation. Having a high reputation overall just kind of helps, especially when you go to set up meetings in the future with some of these influencers. Then you can negotiate a better percentage. In another playthrough, I negotiated it to 10%. It's really weird because if it worked the way that it's supposed to, he's taking 15, he negotiates it down to 10% of his cut. Really what ended up happening was He was already taking the 25%. He said, okay, you're getting 15, I'll move it to 10. What ended up happening was he took 10% less, I took 10% more, so then I was getting 35%, if that makes sense. Regardless, don't worry about that right now. That's your level. This number right here is the current XP that you have with the influencer. I haven't made an offer yet, so it's 0. And then the 250 up here is how much I need to get to level 1. Your offer will show, it's very weird, the town demand, which I believe that this is exactly what it is town demand. The amphetamine and marijuana will actually move up under the your offer, and delivered packages will also show the quantity that you gave him in the last delivered order. Real quick, in the Discord, I asked around if anyone had any ideas of what this meant and how this, was affected. One person responded that this is how much in total drugs given to the influencer, and that's wrong. I will disprove that with some of these tests here that I'll show you. So the first thing I'll do is I will give him exactly 1 gram of cannabis, and I will show you what happens.
Thanks. I will take care of it.
So we're gonna do, where's my 1 gram? Right here. I'll confirm on that. Okay, we'll level up, we'll get the offer, and you will see that the marijuana, at least, because it was the only thing that we offered him right now, has moved from town demand up into the your offer category. Not sure why, but you will also see that it currently has a demand of 50. Really weird interactions happen with him, and I will wait until the sale goes through and talk about exactly what is happening. Okay, so here you'll see that we made the sale, and we got 475. So 475 is our current balance. We went up 2.2 experience on the meter. The very first thing that we'll have to take into account, actually, I'll wait until we get to the 5 gram to demonstrate that. But the first thing you should take into account is we went from 50 to 52. Now, what it seems to be is that this town demand has a ×2 multiplier on the grams that you deliver. So it started at a baseline of 50. We gave him 1 gram. 1 times 2 is 2, so now it went up to 52. You can also do the math if you want, but again, I'll wait until the 5 gram because I already have the calculations on that. But now we have 52. So I'm going to create another offer for him, and this time I'm going to do 1 gram of amphetamine and my other 1 gram of the cannabis, and I'll show you the interaction there as well. So that just sold, and you'll see with the 1 gram of amphetamine that we now went up to 2. Our marijuana, again, it was at 52 times 2, 52, I'm sorry, 52 plus 2, so now we're at 54. What I think is happening while you start at a baseline of 50 is the game is assuming that the player is going to have more access to marijuana than they will amphetamine at this time, so they give you a little bit of a boost. I think this also probably directly corresponds and correlates to what type of offers you're going to receive, but in other testing I've done, that doesn't really seem to be the case. Regardless, though, we got 2 and 2 added on to this. So I'm going to go ahead and create another offer. This time, I'm going to give my 3 grams and my 2 grams. The reason being, actually, real quick, if you noticed, I gave him 1 gram of each, and he pushed both the marijuana and the amp at the same exact time. So that led me onto the train of thought that Lonzo can push up to 5 grams at any given time of any combination that you have. So I'll do 5 grams total, 3 amp, 2 cannabis, and we will see what happens. Alright, he went ahead and made the sale. So again, we gave him 3 amp times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. We gave him 2 marijuana times 2 is 4, plus 54 is 58. So we can confirm that Lonzo does in fact push 5 grams at a time, and it seems to be a ×2 multiplier, at least for now. I'll get to another interaction, but it's a ×2 multiplier to the demand as long as he's pushing 5 grams at a time.
Super.
So now
Handle it.
we're going to do another test of 5 grams. And this one we'll do of amphetamine. And this one I will show you exactly how we are getting finessed. I mean, it's been happening this whole time, but we're giving him 5 grams, so we'll talk about the numbers after the sale occurs. All right, and here we will see that the sale was just made. 31.25 was taken, and our balance was brought up to 75.25. So the math is correct there. We can see that our demand now went up to 18, which is exactly what we were expecting. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 8 is 18. So that is our new town demand. And again, we saw the 31.25. So at 2,500 a gram, and he's taking 5 grams at any given time, we would have expected 12,500 in total to be sold. He's only supposed to be taking 15. He's taking 75%. If we do our 25% cut of 12,500, we're only making 3,125, which is exactly what the balance that we received was. So these percentages are wrong. Lonzo is finessing us a little bit. I have submitted this as a bug report in the DDS Discord to see whether or not, the text needs to be updated or the percentages are wrong. Ideally, it would be better if the percentages were wrong and they could fix that so we can make a little more money. But regardless, what he's saying we're getting and making is not accurate. The last interaction that I want to show you. So, we obviously saw that in 5 gram increments, the demand is increasing by a multiplier of ×2. That is not always the case, and I will show you that here with the cannabis. So just some quick math. We are going to give him 20 grams of marijuana at 1900 per gram at 5 grams. Should be 9,500 in total, times our 25% take. We should be expecting 23.75. If we spread that across all 4 sales that he'll make to get through the 20 grams total, then we could expect around 9,500. But we will see exactly what happens when I give him a 20 gram boost here. We'll also pay attention to the town demand as well. So as you saw there, the sale went through. We got our 23.75 and we started at 58. Our 5 times 2 plus 10 plus 58 is 68. So all reputation there is as expected. Okay, the second one went through. And now you can see real quick, we did get the correct amount of money expected. So it was another 23.75, bringing us up to 12,275. However, the town demand now went to 77 instead of 78. Okay, our next sale went through. We only have 5 grams remaining. Now we are expecting to have 88. We actually have 87. So the town demand went up again by 10, but the previous increment went up by 9. Really weird. But we are at the expected value, so we are still getting the same percentage on every 5 grams sold. All right, and the final one sold. We are now at a balance of 17,025, which is correct. However, we are only at 97, where we should have been at 98. So at the end of the day, what does this all mean for the player? How high does this go right now? How high will it go? What do I do? How do I maximize this? Well, as of right now, the amphetamine gets to a cap of 150 and the marijuana will get to a cap of 250. If the demand correlates one-on-one with how much product Lonzo will push, that's a total collectively of 400 grams split between the amphetamine and the marijuana. That would equate to 80 cells if he sells at 5 grams per time to get through all of that product. Some things to note is that obviously when you push him up to a higher level, you can negotiate better percentages, you will get a higher cut. So, influencers like Lonzo and I'm sure many others in the full release of the game are going to be good allies for you to have to rake in some extra passive income. But robberies will drastically bring your bar down, which overall will hurt you. So you kind of have to do a bit of a balancing act and determine what kind of playthrough you want to do. If you do want to do some robberies, maybe there's going to be ways implemented in the future that won't affect your reputation as much. But right now, those warehouses provide some of the best materials you can get, and you can get a lot of them very, very quickly. So, you have to do a bit of a cost analysis for yourself to see exactly how much product you need or want, and how much you want to rely on the influencers to push product for you. Now, I could go through and do all the different tests that I already have done when trying to record this video another time, but it would get too long, and I'm sure I already threw too many numbers at you. So right now, the best piece of advice I can give you is just focus on trying to get up your amphetamine and your marijuana caps to 150 and 250 respectively, and just keep Lonzo filled with as much product as you can. He's going to push it over time, and you're just going to passively make, some additional money with him. I think until we get a better explanation as to how the town demand actually factors into the types of sales that you'll be making and the amount of sales you'll be making and even the amount of money that you can bring in, the bars kind of don't mean anything. The best thing I can tell you is just focus on trying to level this up as quick as you can. The next cap to get to level 2, I think, is like 250. So yeah, just do your very best to push product to him, but don't do the robberies or you will slow this down drastically. If you do want to do robberies before meeting with him, then you can actually go to the church and you could rob one of the dressers, which has elegant clothing, and that does boost a little bit of your, I think it's your swag level, and you do have a higher chance of negotiating a better price with Lonzo. If you want to shoot for more consistency in the amount of reputation that you earn, or rather town demand that you earn for each drug, then I would just push in 5 gram batches. But at that point, you'll be coming to him a lot. So honestly, what I would rather do at this point, because these numbers really don't equate to much right now, is I would just give him as much as you possibly can. If you do get some foil and you can afford and have the production line to be able to give him 100-gram packages, then I would do that and just let him passively push that while you make, some additional income through other ways. So yeah, guys, hopefully that all made sense. I know it's a little confusing and I threw a lot of numbers at you, but as of right now, this is the system that we have and this is what we have to work with. So do try and do your best to grasp the idea of what the influencers can actually do for you. But realistically, you're just going to want to give them product passively, have them passively push it for you and make some money that way. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please let me know down in the comments if you have any other questions. I'll do my best to try and answer them. And I will see you guys in the next video.